Hey, peace and blessings to you. I'm Jerry B. I'm the EntreMusician, and actually, so are you. Well, actually, you're not Jerry B, but you are an EntreMusician. Welcome to this introductory video that we've put together on this brand new channel, which is designed to engage, encourage, and empower all EntreMusicians everywhere. So if you are a singer, if you are a songwriter, if you are a musician, if you are just a creative of any type, then the EntreMusician is for you. Now this video, like all of our videos, are brought to you by our good friends at Vocal. And Vocal is the only beverage on the planet which is designed to soothe, refresh, and restore your voice. So singers and preachers and coaches and teachers and motivational speakers and anyone who uses their voice for a living should have Vocal. Go to their website at drinkvocal.com. Now let me explain a little bit about what an EntreMusician is. In fact, I borrowed the term from Dave Ramsey, my good friend Dave Ramsey. Of course, he doesn't know he's my good friend, but I've read this book so many times I feel like we're buddies. He wrote this amazing book called EntreLeadership that I refer to often. And as a musician over the past several years, I realized when I first picked this book up that I am an EntreMusician. I am that musician, and there are others that call themselves musicianpreneurs, which is cool because we are the people that think beyond what happens on the bandstand or what's happening at rehearsal. We are those people who are booking the gigs, who are probably rehearsing the band. We're probably paying the band. You know, at the end of the gig, we are scheduling the recording sessions. We are involved in the songwriting process or collaborating process. We're booking the studio gigs. Everything that has to do with making sure the band stays on point is an EntreMusician. And so I'm not an expert by any means. I've taken all of the things that I've learned with my band Sound Doctrine, working with some incredible musicians all over. I've been involved in producing live events in my hometown of Youngstown, Ohio, as well as recording and producing other artists. But there's also been a lot of failures too. So I'm not an expert by any means, but what I wanted to do with the EntreMusician is I wanted to create community. I wanted to create a network and a situation whereby we learn from each other. And so if it's copyright law, if it's publishing in the age of Spotify, if it's how to correctly rehearse a band, or bringing you into the studio and showing you how to mic a drum set if you are a beginner at, in your home studio, or the equipment we use or the software, anything that has to do with the life of an EntreMusician, we're going to discuss it, we're going to share it, and I'm always going to be spotlighting my fellow EntreMusicians. So look out for that, because I have a wonderful artist I want to tell you about at the end of this video. One of the things that is really interesting is how I talked myself out of really doing this. I built the website, EntreMusician.com, and I definitely want you to go there. But I've talked myself out of it because of the fact that I didn't think I had anything to offer. I mean, who's going to listen to me? I mean, and I went back and forth with it. I did some Facebook Live, then I stopped, and I wasn't consistent. I blog all the time regularly. But again, that voice was going, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? But I realized that God had opened some incredible doors, and based on my own personal experience, that is not your experience or not his experience or her experience. I had enough, as I said, failures and heartache and victories, achievements and accomplishments where I can just share what I have and hopefully add value to you in your career and what you're trying to accomplish. So that's what we're doing here at the EntreMusician. In fact, if you go to the EntreMusician.com at the conclusion of this video, put in your email address, you can download my free ebook, which is called 50 Engaging Ways to Turn Your Fans into Family. 50 foolproof ways, and we've done it. Our band Sound Doctrine, we've utilized these techniques over the years, which allows us to really engage with our fans. And there were people from the first shows, early days of Sound Doctrine, who we're still friends with, who we still dialogue with, who we still network with when we're in their city. That's something that you can utilize for your band and for your artistry. So that's 50 engaging ways to turn your fans into family. Now, one of the interesting things about what I do is oftentimes I'm in the area high schools as a mentor. And I was asked by Mrs. T in one of our area high schools to talk to them just last Friday on their career day. And it's pretty interesting when you talk to a bunch of students that would rather fall asleep. But I was talking to them primarily about what I've learned about just me. It wasn't necessarily, hey, yo, I'm a producer and, you know, I'm doing this and that and I'm about to record here and do this or anything like that. But I shared 6 things as I was learning who I was, learning how to become myself. I realized it was more about me being me rather than the doing, because the doing will take care of itself once you realize who you are. So the 6 things that I shared with her class were, number 1, to be intentional. You have to be intentional. You're trying to get somewhere, nobody's going to give you anything. You can forget about it. The Grammy's not going to drop in your lap. You know, if you're going to get a scholarship, you're not going to get the scholarship. You're going to earn the scholarship. You know, the Millionaire Fairy is not going to come and knock on your door and just hand you $1 million. Everything that you need to get, you got to get. You have to be intentional, and you have to be the one to get up off your donkey and actually make it happen. That's number 1. Number 2 was something that my spiritual mentor, Bishop David L. Thomas, would always teach us. And he said these 3 words really change your direction in life. And those 3 words are, and then some. You do the requirements, and then some. And that's what separates people who are successful from people who are mediocre. The extra mile. When the band rehearsal is over, that's when your practice begins. You know, when everybody else is going out to do this, that, or the other, you are perfecting your craft. You know, you're the one that's putting in the extra work. You're the one that's putting in the extra time to get it done. And I don't mean that in the sense of being a workaholic or just, you know, driving yourself. But there has to be some drive, just like there has to be some intentionality in order to make it happen. So those 3 words, I'm going to do what it takes, but then I'm going to make it a cut above. That's actually what gets the gig. And I told the students, which is true. I mean, I'm sitting here in our studio here at Listen, and I mean, we can get a singer or a guitarist or a saxophone player to come in, boom, in the next hour or so. But you know what? The one who gets the gig, the one who actually makes the recording is not the one who sings the notes right. It's not the one who is in key. I mean, we have Melodyne. Understand what I'm saying? It's the one that interprets the vocal, interprets the phrase, the one that puts their soul in it so much where I'm embarrassed that I didn't write the part that way. You know what I mean? That's the person that gets the gig. So that and then some helps. Number 3 is to put God first. Now that's my worldview. I'm a man of faith, and there may be some of you watching who have a different worldview. I'm not here to convince you otherwise, other than to say that in my faith in God has helped me every time that I've put him first, and even in achievements and also in my failures, because I've learned so much in my failures that having that spiritual foundation has really helped me to move forward. So that was my number 3 for them. Number 4 was always be truthful. I mean, you're only lying to 2 people if you choose to lie. And then you're lying to yourself because you're making excuses. And yourself knows when you're lying to it. I mean, yourself knows this is not the truth. But you can just so deny and blame others and just throw off responsibility, that you're convincing yourself that you can't make it, that it's too hard for you, that the task is too big or too large, or you don't have the money, or you don't have the connections, or you don't have whatever, fill in the blank. And you are actually lying to yourself. And the incredible thing about the mind is whatever we put into our minds accept. I mean, so if you say you can't make it, you're right. If you say you can't do it, you're right. If you say it's too hard, then you're absolutely right. But it's a lie. So why lie to yourself? And absolutely, why lie to others? Because that is incredibly dangerous. I mean, you lack integrity. People are going to know it. You might be good enough to get away with the first lie. You might be great and get away with about 4 or 5 lies. But at the end of the day, people are going to know you are a man or a woman that lacks integrity, and you are untrustworthy, and your name is going to be mud. That's going to be absolutely it for you. Number 5 is forgiveness. Now, forgiveness is so huge as an entre musician is concerned, because there's a lot of times where we're carrying around a big bag of unforgiveness. We're holding grudges. Someone has said or done something to us. Someone has been shysty to us in some way, and we allow that unforgiveness to fester inside of us, and it really kills us. We're really the ones that are in a prison because of it. I heard someone say that unforgiveness is like you drinking a bottle of poison and expecting the other person to drop dead. I mean, it doesn't happen. It won't happen. You are the one who is killing yourself. You're the one who is deflating your own energy. You're the one who is really like chopped down to absolutely nothing, and they've moved on. So if you're going to be anywhere near the entertainment business, you're going to have thick skin. You're going to have to know, I'm not going to hold this grudge. I'm not going to try to get back at anybody. I'm just going to do me. I'm just going to be me, and I'm going to move forward. I'll just lick my wounds. I'm not going to say it doesn't hurt, but you lick your wounds, you get up, you dust off, and you go after it. So forgiveness is huge. And then finally is knowing who you are. Because if you know who you are, then you're not going to sing those lyrics. You're not going to take off your clothes. You're not going to dance that way. Or you're not going to compromise whatever your values or principles are, because you know who you are. Because you realize that this is my artistry. This is my career. And I'm telling you, it'll take you longer, because there are many musicians who know, oh, we can sell out for the money like that. Yo, I need the gig, and okay, I'll wear it. Or I'll put that on. Or I'll take this off. Or I'll do that thing because it's about the money. Well, no, let it be about you and your God-given talent and what's inside you. And take the high road, which is a longer road, which is a narrower road, but you can do it. And you should do it, because that's what's going to get you over. So those 6 things that I shared with Mrs. T's class are, again, be intentional, number 1. Number 2, use those 3 magic words and then some. Don't just meet the requirements, but go beyond. Number 3, for you, whatever your belief system or your system of faith is, I say put God first. Number 4, always be truthful. Number 5, utilize forgiveness in big, huge, heavy doses. And number 6, know who you are. So what about you? I'd like you to leave a comment in the comment box below. If you were standing in front of Mrs. T's class, or maybe you've already done a career day, what would you tell the student? What would you say? Hey, here are my big 6, or here are 10 things that I would do. Here are 3 big things that I always live by as an entre musician. And so finally, what I want to do is tell you about my friend, fellow entre musician, who is blowing her heart out, the lovely trumpeter Ginetta. And her band is Ginetta's Vendetta, and we have played together down in Baltimore. This was several years ago, and then Sound Doctrine was her backing band in Philly for the Soul Patrol music festival that we had in Philadelphia. We didn't have it. We were blessed to be able to participate, but we were the backing band for Ginetta and that magic trumpet of hers. She's a beautiful woman, inside and out, and her band smokes. Her music is cooking, so I'll put a link in the comment box below to Ginetta's Vendetta. And again, I want you to go over to the EntreMusician.com, and I want you to sign up, and we will add you to the community. I'm Jerry B. I'm the EntreMusician, and so are you.